Hi, my name is Ron from RM Broadcast Studios, or RM Studios Video and Photography. And today I want to talk about doing video and photography on the cheap. And what I mean by that is going inexpensive, because a lot of times your budget is kind of small and you don't have a lot of money to spend in terms of lenses and high-end cameras and things like that. So I want to talk to you about what you can get and buy on the cheap. Now, a lot of people, what they do is they go onto eBay and they look up the particular kind of lenses and things like that for their particular DSLR. Now, it's very important to know that if you're more of a videographer or if you're more of a photographer. If you're more of a videographer, then lenses are important. It's also important when you're doing photography that lenses are important also. Now, when I started out in radio and television broadcasting for about 18 years. Now, when I got out of that, I found that I still had a love for video. And then that kind of transferred into having a love for photography, because I love to create. I love things that are unique and different. And that's why I love the photography, because you can take a picture and manipulate it, to where you can get a vivid, brilliant picture, and you can manipulate it in such a way to bring out some special qualities of that picture. Now, in portraits, what's important in portraits is the lighting and also the lens. Now, I use Nikon, and I'm not putting down any Canon users out there or Pentax or whatever like that. It's all about preference. What is your choice? And I go for the Nikon, and I'll tell you why. Is because with Nikon, you can interchange the lenses on those with the older lenses, the vintage lenses, and they got the newer lenses out there. But I mean, sometimes, you want a good lens with good glass on it, premium glass, but you don't want to spend like $1,000, $2,000 on a lens. Come on. I mean, if you're really getting into photography or videography, you want to find something that's going to be within your budget. Something that's going to be cheap enough to where you can save you some money to at least buy at least 2 lenses for your DSLR or some other equipment that you may use in terms of a photo shoot or a video shoot. If you're just the kind of person that just likes to go out and take pictures, okay, well, get a point and shoot. There's a lot of Coolpix cameras out there and whatever, but if you're more serious about photography, then you need to get a good camera, and some good lenses in order to get that particular shot that you want. Now, in video, it's important to have a good video lens. Now, what is a good video lens? I looked around and I'm thinking, okay, and I'm right now I'm using the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens on my Nikon. This is a Nikon D5200. And some people say, well, you know what, the Nikon 5200 is just a kit lens. It's not really that good, and a lot of people, if you listen to some of the reviews on YouTube and wherever, they say, well, the kit lens is like a throwaway lens. It's not really that great of a glass. It doesn't get that very great of video. The picture quality is not that great. Well, you know what? As a videographer and photographer, I have to disagree. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe it might be the videographer or the photographer. How do you use your lens? What kind of photos you're taking, what kind of lighting you have. So I think it's personal preference, actually. The kit lens is a good lens. Let's not discount that. It is. It's a good lens. It's a good walk-around lens. It's a good starter lens. If you're a beginner, hey, look, the kit lens is great. Even if you're going, past the starter point, it's still a great lens to have around. It's not the greatest glass. It's not premium glass, but it is a good lens. So it's a DX 18 by 55 millimeter kit lens. If you got one, keep it. Throw it in your bag or whatever. Now, if you break it, it really isn't worth fixing. You know, I have to say that, I have to throw that into. It's not really worth fixing. So, but it's cheap enough to where you can go to eBay or maybe even to Amazon and get yourself another kit lens if that's what you desire. But this one I'm shooting it because I noticed, you know, with the kit lens, I can get a wider range, you know. Now, I'm using a D5200. It is not a full frame camera. It's a crop sensor in there, you know, so I'm not going to get the full effect, you know, like a full frame camera, but yet I'm happy with it. It gets great pictures, it takes great video, and I'm telling you, it's a good camera. Now, when I started out with the D70S. Now, that was a good camera. I mean, it took good pictures, not many megapixels, but you know what? I mean, I was happy with it. I was really happy with it. It was a starter camera for me. And I moved from that in, you know, because I started doing the research. I said, you know, I got really good with taking pictures with the D70. And so it's time to move up. So I moved from the D70 up to the D90. Now, when I got to the D90, I was saying, oh, wow. And I think it had like 16 megapixels. 16 megapixels on the camera. Great pictures, great video. I'm telling you, it's great video, you know, and I love that camera. And you know what? It kind of hurt my heart because, you know, when I got rid of the camera or whatever like this, I don't know what I was thinking. You know, and I should have used it as a backup camera, you know, and whatever like that. But you know, as you go along and you're upgrading or whatever like this, you're thinking, okay, well, you know what, I'm going to sell this because I'm upgrading to a newer camera. So I went from the D90, went into the D5100. Now that is a good camera. That is an excellent camera, I have to say. You know, now it doesn't have all, you know, the bells and whistles like the, you know, D7000 or D700, you know, or whatever like this. But it was a great camera. I love that camera. But I started reading reviews about the D5200. I want to upgrade, so, you know, down the road went the D51 and the D52 came into play, and I'm like, hey, look, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, you know, I'm going to get another camera, but you know what? I didn't want to go up to like a D53, all right? I got a D52. I don't want to go up to the D53. I'm looking to run with the big boys. And running with the big boys means that I want to jump up, and ultimately I want to get the D3 or the D4. You know, I'm talking about, you know, 34 megapixels, whatever like this. Maybe I'm a megapixel guy, maybe not. I'm into great pictures. And when I'm talking about great pictures, you know, sometimes I do these weddings, sometimes I'm doing portraits, you know, sometimes I'm doing teaching videos and things like this. I need a great lens. So this is what I did. I was on a budget, and after each production, what I would do is I would take a little portion of that, and I would go out and I would get a piece of equipment. Now, when I first started out, you know, and I met my wife. Okay, she was into photography too. She's like, oh look, I like taking pictures or whatever. She had a little camera, you know. She went around taking pictures or whatever like this. And I think I had like, what was it, a Coolpix, Nikon Coolpix or whatever like this. It was a 552S or 52 or something. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so now I gave it to her, and she was like mega happy. I mean, she's out there taking video, and she's taking pictures. How many megapixels was? She's in the background over there. She's like giving me signals and all that kind of stuff like that. It was, what, 16? 18 megapixels. Are you kidding me? 18 megapixels. It take great pictures, great video. It had an articulating screen on it or whatever like this. Great camera. So I gave it to her, and she was like happy. And now she's like, okay, well, you know, what kind of camera do you have? You know, and I think I want to have one of those. I'm thinking, like, do you know that it's going to take some lenses? You don't know the ISO, you know, the shutter speeds, the aperture settings, the f-stops, and whatever like this. She's like, no, I don't know any of that. I said, well, you know what? Get a point and shoot. We'll get you another Nikon Coolpix or whatever like this. You choose. We'll get that for you. You'll be happy. You can go take the pictures. But let's get back to shooting on the cheap. Now, just recently I heard some things about portrait photography, and I like doing portraits and whatever like that. I like doing, you know, modeling. I did some modeling stuff, you know, whatever, and I liked it. I'm thinking, okay, well, you know, am I really as good as I should be? So I went on YouTube and I'm looking at these guys that are taking fantastic portraits and stuff like that. So I said, well, what kind of lens do I get? You know, so I looked at Digital Rev, you know, the little Asian guy, you know, and whatever. He's a funny guy. He's a funny guy. And he's like, okay, well, you know, what do you really need a 50 millimeter lens? Okay, there's a couple of different kinds out there. There's a 50 millimeter lens. Okay, this is a 1.8. Now, there's a 1.4 out there, and I heard there's a 1.2. But I wanted something that I can afford and what's in my budget, so I got the 1.8. And guess, you know what? Let's talk about buying or purchasing on the cheap, but getting some premium lens. This is premium glass in here, folks. You know, this lens is no joke. Come on. It's no joke. Guess how much I got this for? Come on. I paid $46 for this lens. This is a premium glass lens, 1.8. It's got the aperture settings on there. It's a great camera, takes great pictures, and not only that, it creates great video too. And you know what? I appreciate great pictures and I appreciate great video, and I love this little thing. When I got it, I took it. I couldn't even wait to get it. And you know what? I got it online, and it was Robert's. Was it Robert's camera? It was Robert. I'm going to give him a plug. Robert's camera. Okay, got lots of different lenses on there, cheap lenses or whatever like this, but premium glass, and you can get them really inexpensively. eBay, go to Robert's camera and get a 50 millimeter lens. You know, you have to read about them. You know, they'll rate them for you. They'll rate them excellent or good or fair or whatever, and tell you exactly what's going on with these lenses or whatever. But I went and purchased it. I purchased 2 lenses from Robert's camera because I think that you know, when I got this lens, I went ahead and used it, and it took great pictures and whatever. And you'll see something flashing on the screen. You'll see these pictures, whatever like this. But I'm telling you, if you're on a budget, $46, and you got a 50 millimeter lens. I'm not saying that you can get the same one for $46. I'm saying what I got. Do your math, do your footwork, look around. Just don't buy the first thing that comes out, okay? If you can't afford the $400 lens, the 50 millimeter DX lens or whatever like this, get a vintage lens, great glass on it, or whatever like this. Secondly, from Robert's camera, okay, I got the 35 to 135 millimeter lens, Nikon millimeter lens, okay. How much does this run me? $40-something. $40-something. Robert's camera, okay. Look him up. I mean, great, you know. And it had a rating on that. I think this had a good rating, you know, on it. And I said, okay, well, you know, what exactly is wrong with the lens? I mean, you know, it's a really good price or whatever like that. It's got a smooth zoom on it, okay? But what I did was I went on YouTube, and I'm looking for somebody who's got this same lens, and I looked at a guy that had the same lens, and he did some macro photography that was out of this world. I'm talking about, he had a D50-100. No, a D52, I believe. You know, we had the same camera, and he's doing this micro photography, and it was excellent quality video, excellent pictures, and whatever. I said, you know what? I'm sold. I got to get one. So I got one, and when I got it, you know, I started taking video with it, taking some pictures. The pictures turned out fantastic, and so there was a spider in the backyard. I went ahead and got a few shots of that and got some video of that. But then what he was doing was he was using a macro lens. He had the tube extensions, and he told me exactly what it was. So I said, you know what? I gotta have a tube extension. Okay. So now we're just into $40-something here. So what I did was I looked on, and they had these extension tubes, and one guy said, well, I paid $18 for mine, you know, and another guy says, well, you know, I paid, you know, what, $12 for mine. I paid $6 for this thing. free shipping. Amazon. Okay, was it Amazon? No, it was eBay. Was it eBay? Yeah, it was eBay. I got it. It was Newer. It was Newer. That is the brand name, and it came out with. It has three. It's got the 3, 2, 1. It's got three different extensions of it. This goes into the. This connects to the front of the camera there. Bam. Where the lens goes, and actually, yeah. Yeah, so that connects where the lens goes. This is where your actual lens goes. So your actual lens goes into there. There you go. Okay, so now you got an extension tube on that. I put the 50 millimeter in there just for, sake of time and quickness and whatever like this. But let me tell you something. You take this, snap this extension tube on, and this will get you closer, okay? Closer than a frog hair. Okay, I'm talking about you're actually seeing everything on there. So I took it in the backyard. I'm filming the spider. I want to film the spider again. He's gone. All right, so I did some other little shots and whatever. Turned out excellent. I'm telling you, this tube, I highly recommend it. If you're on a budget and you can't afford to be spending a lot of money, but you want some great pictures, want some great magnification, some macro photography, go ahead and get on eBay, Newer, okay, and that's the brand name, and get yourself this. Now, I do manual shooting. I shoot in manual. I just don't put my stuff on automatic. I like to adjust my ISO settings, my aperture settings, my shutter speed, my f-stops. I like doing that all myself. Okay, that gives me total control of the situation. So if you're getting one of these are not electronic, so they don't talk to the camera. So you're gonna have to do it in manual settings. Okay, just manual settings. I'm just letting you know ahead of time. So, if you want to go cheap, go the manual settings. You're going to have to set your aperture. If you don't have an aperture setting on the lens itself, you're going to have to set it in the camera first. And then, then put your macro lens on there and whatever. Then you can adjust the focus and all that kind of stuff like that. But anyway, like I was saying, on the cheap, dude, and dudesses, on the cheap. I'm just saying, everything, it's inexpensive. And, when you're on a budget, and we are on a budget, okay, we talk about things, I'm like, babe, I need to get some of this and some of that. Well, you know what, we're going to have to wait, and I'm good with that, but I mean, when it comes to projects and things like this is the screen I use to do. I do my video editing and photography editing and whatever like this. I use Photoshop, and I've got some other kinds of photo manipulation type of things, to sharpen up stuff or whatever, or manipulate photos, whatever. I look for the best quality stuff that doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Are you with me? Can I get an amen? Amen. Okay, let's take a look at another lens. This right here is a 70 to 300 millimeter lens. I had to have this one because, I like to focus in. When it comes to focusing in, this is the camera for me, okay? Because I wanted I wanted a telephoto lens. I really did. I wanted a telephoto lens. I wanted to get up close and personal. Now, my next move, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get some range on this thing because I need something I can look. And if I'm standing here and the wildlife is flying around me and they're out of reach and I can't get it right up close, to where I can see the feathers or the fur or whatever they got on them, I need to get up close and personal. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? I need something that's going to not cost me an arm and a leg. But right now I got this 70 to 300. It really does a good job. Excellent zoom motion in there. You know what I'm saying? Connect it up. How much did this cost me? Excuse me. Where's my water? Anyway, I got on Craigslist, and a guy sold it to me for like $70. And I was like, are you kidding me? $70? Okay, I'm gonna come and get it. All right, so I went and got it, you know, and it had excellent glass. It didn't have any, it didn't have cracks or fuzz or anything on there. So what I needed to know was, you know, I mean, did it have any fungus on it? It didn't. It was a great lens, so I bought it. You know, it was a good investment. Now, moving on. I got the 28 to 80 millimeter lens. Now, each lens that I buy, you know, I'm looking at the reviews and seeing, you know, what kind of video quality, what kind of picture quality, whatever like this, because I want to do photography and I want to do video. I want it to be a dual purpose type of lens, you know, that I can use for photography or video. Now, some I use specifically for photography and some I use specifically for video, but I want to be able to use it for both. Okay, so I did go out and see what the reviews were, and a guy did some excellent video. I mean, the quality on it was great, and I was like, you know, babe, look at this. She says, well, look at that. It's so clear, it's so detailed, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta have it. So I went on eBay and I bought this. This was like what, $37 or something like that? 37 bucks. 28 by 80. Folks, no fungus, you know, clear, good glass on it like this, no cracks. I'm listening to it. I mean, it's like a great lens. I'm making, you know, I'm blessed. I'm making some great deals here, and I'm getting more equipment for my camera on the cheap. I'm not spending $300 and $400 and $500 for stuff. I'm doing within my budget, and that's what I'm talking about. I mean, a lot of people sitting out there and say, I can't afford to buy these lenses. Come on, get on eBay. Look these up. Get on YouTube. Look up the reviews on this one. See the video quality, the picture quality, and, you know what you're doing. Okay? Know what you want to do before you do it. Get the right lens for it. Hey, get a Nikon. You can't go wrong. So we've looked at several different lenses here. The 28 by 80 millimeter. You got a 50 millimeter 1.8. I've got the 35 to 135 millimeter lens here. I've got the 70 to 70 to 300 millimeter lens here. I'm doing some good stuff. Here, you know. And there's another thing too. Listen, we're going to talk about my DSLR rig. Now, we'll get into that on the next video. Please subscribe to my channel. I don't get a lot of views because that's not something that I'm all pushed up about. You know what I'm saying? I do stuff, I put it up there, you know, people like it. People that know me, they see it and I like it, or either I don't. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I try to do the best quality video and photography I possibly can. And I'm going to throw up some pictures up here. I'm throwing some pictures up here so you can see what I'm doing, what kind of photography I do, you know, and we'll get into what kind of software I use, you know, as far as photography for video, editing, you know, that kind of thing. But we've got some good stuff here. You've got the 35 to 135 to 50 millimeter 1.8. No, maybe my video card is full. You know, folks, my camera keeps turning off. I don't know why. I've got to check that out. I think my card is full, you know, because I've been talking a long time and whatever like this. But I hope you're informed. If you're doing it on the cheap, you don't have to you don't have to spend an arm and a leg to do that. Also, when you're doing video, and I attach this to my rig, you know, on the back of this thing, I've got an external battery adapter. Now this one is from Marshall Electronics. It takes 6 AA batteries and it gets really good picture. Now if I was to, you know, if I was to turn this thing on, then my camera would turn off. And that's the thing, you know, that's why my camera is turning off. Because when you turn this on, you know, and you're in live mode, it's going to turn it off, so you have to redo your camera again. So anyway, it takes 6 AA batteries, which is on the back. The back pops off, and there the batteries go. Okay, so get yourself some, you know, if you can, get yourself some nickel-ion batteries or whatever. You know, get the high-end batteries, extended length batteries or whatever like this. Or there's another external battery adapter that you can place on here. It takes a Sony battery and you can get like 3 hours. 3 hours out of your monitor and whatever like this, because sometimes you're using these AA batteries and you're in the middle of the shoot. You don't want to have to change them out, especially if the shoot is lasting over an hour or two, whatever like this. It's not good to have to change out AAA batteries. But if you're on the cheap, this is a good way to do that. This thing right here, $6. $6 just for the adapter. It screws on right onto your Lilliput monitor. Lilliput monitor, $100. Was it $100? About $100. Yeah, Lilliput monitor, 7-inch. It's a 619A. Okay, so it's not that expensive to get. Now you can go a cheaper route if you want. They got the Harrier out there. It's 40-something bucks or whatever like this. But the video quality isn't that good. I use an HDMI. I use an HDMI cable. It connects to my camera over here. It gets good picture. I'm telling you, it gets good picture. I hook it on to my DSLR rig, the one I just carry around and whatever like this, and it's great to use. It's great to use. So this equipment right here, what we're talking about, is something that is not expensive. Was it fit right in your budget? And it's something that you can afford to get yourself going. And that's something you're going to need. And also, let's see what I got in my little stash here. You're going to have some SD cards. Okay? Get the 16 or 32 gigabyte. And what you want to get is you want to make sure they're the class 10. Okay? Get the class 10. 16 or 32 gigabyte. Now, yours, whatever works for you, whatever. This is what I use. I got the Transcend. It's the 16 gigabyte, and it's a class 10. It's a class 10. That's what I use. It's like, you're taking pictures. You want you want to keep up. You know what I'm saying? The processing inside your DSLR, you want it to keep up. How fast is your card? So you don't want to get that slow card. Okay, I want to get a class 4 or whatever that works for me. Get a class 10. Okay, they're not that much. Everything's getting cheaper. DSLR is getting cheaper these days. Cameras are getting cheaper these days. Equipment is getting cheaper because they're coming out with this brand new stuff. People are paying thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for. Okay, so make sure you got your SD card, 16, 32. If you can get a 64 megabyte, if that was in your budget, get a 64 gigabyte, SD card right there, and make sure it's a class 10 and maybe the extreme. If you got the budget for that, do it. It's only gonna help you and increase, and enhance your video quality, your picture quality, whatever like that. So, also I got this video light. I got the video light. This thing is fantastic. Look at all these little LED lights they got in here. It's really bright. I don't have the batteries in it right now. The batteries kind of ran dead on me because, I left the thing on. And I'm telling you, it ran the batteries down, and that was the end of that. But it's got, it's got different kinds of filters on it. This is the clear filter. I got an amber filter too, and whatever. Like, this is a great thing to have if you need to light up your subject, and you can't carry around all these other kind of lights. Now, I got these other little, trinket type things or whatever like this. I need to be prepared. So I got the one from Vivitar. This is my wide angle. This is my wide angle macro lens right here. You can tell. It's got some good glass in it, whatever like this. You want a wide angle, you want to get down and dirty. Hey, look, it fits right on your camera there. Screws right in like I've got the 18 to 55 millimeter on there, and I'll just stick it right there. Oh, almost had you there. I just stick it right there. Look at that. Look at that. It's just a wide angle. It gives you a wide angle. If that's something you need, go ahead and get it. I would turn the camera around because, about this time right there, folk get to stripping down, and I try to tell them not to go in front of the window. You know what I'm saying? I don't go in front of the window. You want to get, you don't want to strip down, get in the bed. be relaxed or whatever, bend down, creep. Got the lights on and everything. People looking up in here. Okay. The last thing I want to show you is this. I got this off of Amazon, and what this is this is a it's a viewfinder, you know, and this is what you're going to need when you got a DSLR and you got a 3-inch screen. This is what you're going to need. Because if you've got one of these right here, what it does is it magnifies the screen 2 times. I think this is like a 2x. So it magnifies the screen 2 times the size, you know, so when you're looking in there, you know, I mean, you're able to see your subject a lot better. I mean, you can tell what's going on, you know, on your screen, because I mean, a 3-inch screen, you can't tell exactly if you're in focus or not. Like the first review I did, I wasn't in focus and I didn't even know it. You know, had I had this on there, I could have focused and said, you know what, I'm just a little bit out of focus. So anyway, this time I went and got this. This was like what, $6? This is like $6. $6. I went ahead and got it, and I mean, it's a joy to have. You got a little articulating screen on your DSLR. This is what you need. Okay, there's more expensive ones out there. You can get those, but if you just need to see what you're shooting and need some clarity, get one of these. Okay, they even send it in a nice little pouch of it. It says, you know, look, viewfinder, you know, HD SLR support viewfinder, V-finder. Comes with a little strap on it, you know, if you're not using it on your monitor, you know, you could just slip it around your neck or whatever. Comes in this nice little pouch. You know, this eye cup, it folds down. It's crazy. It's just neat, okay? And it's something you need to have. Buy it, spend the $6, throw it in your bag. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, because we know when the sun is out and you can't see your screen that clear, it's gonna be a gem for you. It's gonna be something that you need. Now they sent me this one. This is the first one they sent me. This is like for a Canon. You know, it's like a 2.5, you know, monitor screen. Well, they sent me this one, and I'm like, you know what? You sent me the wrong one. They sent me the other one, you know, and, you know, they didn't, I mean, this one is just sitting here. So, you know, if somebody needs a viewfinder, hey, look, you know, hit me up. You know what I'm saying? You know, spend a few bucks, you know, I'll send it right to you. I mean, I'm not going to use it. I mean, my screens I got to have a 3-inch or larger. I got a 3-inch on the DSLR. I got a 7-inch right here. Okay, so I'm doing great. Anyway, that's all I can share with you right now. You know, we'll get back to some other stuff like some green screen and some lighting and whatever like this. Stuff you can do, you know, to enhance your videos and whatnot. Break out the background. I mean, lighting is important. You got to light up your subject and whatever. You got to do what you got to do, okay, to make your video stand out. And that's what this is all about, folks. It's going from amateur to professional or semi-professional, you know, or just being dadgum good. You know what I mean? So, you know, enhance your stuff. Get your equipment. We'll go into the rest of the little stuff right here. You know, tripods. What kind of tripod to use? On the cheap. This is on the cheap. Okay? You ain't got to spend a whole lot of money. Get back with me. Okay? Peace. We'll talk to you later. Ron from RM Studios. Oh, just before I go, let me tell you this. Let me give you a plug. Let me give a plug to Vistaprint. Now, if you're on a budget, you know, you got like, you know, you want to have, you know, your little professional t-shirts to wear on your little shoots and whatever like this. You know, design your own. I designed my own, okay? I sent the design to Vistaprint. They put it on a t-shirt for me. What was it like, you know, what, $16? Something like that? 20, okay, I got 2, so $25 for 2. Okay, so you figure out, you do the math, okay? I got me one, got my wife one. Look. RM RM Studios. Look at that. You know, I got one with a lion on it too, okay? Alright, there you go. Got it on the back too. Back, front, get it back, front. You know, get your t-shirts. Get your t-shirts. Get your stuff together, okay? If you ain't got the money, don't whine no more, okay? Because it don't cost a lot of money to get where you need to go. You just got to, you do a job, go ahead and buy you a piece of equipment. It's going to benefit you in the end, okay? Ron from RM Studios, peace. We'll talk to you later. Subscribe. We're going to have a good time. Bye-bye then.